Good morning, Laker fans. It is November 14th, 2018. Tonight, the Lakers host those lovely Portland Trailblazers at the Staples Center. Coverage beginning at 7:30 p.m. I am Rachel A. Smith, your hostess and fierce feminine force behind the RAS.Laker channel, your proper resource for everything Lakers. So let's talk about some standings since we haven't touched that in a bit. Let's see the Eastern Conference. We have number 1 Raptors with a 12-2 record. We have the number 2 Milwaukee Bucks with a 10-3 record. Those Bucks are playing hard. And then the Western Conference standings, we have the number 1 Warriors with an 11-3 record. That would be an 11-4 record after last night's loss against the Hawks. The Blazers 10-3 record. The Blazers are number 2 with a 10-3 record. The Clippers are number 4 with an 8-5 record. It's good to note that the Lakers have defeated the Bucks, the Warriors, and the Blazers. They play the Raptors to mid-December, and they play us at the end of December, so we've got a lot to look forward to against those rivals across the locker room, across the hall, I should say. Lakers are number 10 in the Western standing with a 7-6 record. Hopefully we can improve that a bit tonight. Only the top 8 teams go to the playoffs, and the playoffs are what we're playing for. So they would not make it today. But in the power rankings, the November 12th power rankings, this is week 5, we have number 1 Toronto Raptors of both Eastern and Western Conference finals. This combines both the power rankings. Number 2 Portland Trailblazers. We have lost to them, but we have defeated them as well. Number 3, those Bucks just will not quit. Number 4, Golden State Warriors. Number 5, Denver Nuggets. Number 6, the Clippers again. And Lakers sit at number 16 in the power rankings. Not so hot, but, we really just started going. So, what happened Monday night with this Clippers game? It was pretty wild for the Warriors. The Clippers did close that game 121-116 in overtime play. Steph Curry was out 2 games with a groin injury, and Draymond Green was suspended at the end of this game by his team for 1 game without pay. That's going to be $120K plus for him, a fine for him. He had a heated exchange with Kevin Durant. Supposedly he was calling Kevin Durant a witch with a capital B in the huddle during the overtime. And then when it came time to pass the ball to Durant for the game-winning shot, he opted to pass the ball elsewhere. There was some other large heated exchange in the locker room. And the Warriors did lose last night against the Hawks. So, is this where the Warriors' demise begins? Not necessarily. We can all hang on, but at least we know exactly why Kevin Durant has no intention of staying with the Warriors past this season. The deal is that he and Draymond Green clearly do not get along, and last night's loss against the Hawks was pretty much orchestrated. Without Steph Curry, they knew it'd be a tough game. Might as well give Draymond Green a suspension, let him know who's boss, and then maybe he'll behave a little bit more. This camera is not in the right place, and it just makes me cross-eyed. But anyways, so what else do we have in the league? I think the Warriors will be fine. They'll reset themselves weeks, hopefully. But in the meantime, Jimmy Butler drama has ended so far. He has been traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for Robert Covington and Dario Saric. Joel Embiid is thrilled over there in Philadelphia. He had 35 points on Monday night, so clearly he needs some help. And next up, the uncomfortable look at that Rockets season, a disastrous season. Unfortunately, Carmelo Anthony is not working out. We understand. He doesn't really play defense. I don't think he's a both sides of the ball player, and he certainly was not in a position to replace the efforts of Trevor Ariza. So the rumors, I don't know. They're rumors. They're unconfirmed, but he's not going to be in Houston much longer, and everybody's looking for an escape hatch on this one. Hopefully, this is the Rockets realizing that they need defense, and Mike D'Antoni does not coach defense, and that's why he had no problem picking up Carmelo Anthony in place of Trevor Ariza. And I'm sorry, Rockets. He may have won Coach of the Year, but again, he got it because he got fired from the Lakers. I really believe that. So, nasty stuff. Karis LeVert of Brooklyn Nets. He had a subtalar dislocation of his right foot. It was twisted sideways. No surgery necessary, however, a lot of ligament damage. He's really just going to have to start up with some therapy. It is a pretty gruesome injury. No real footage of it, which I do appreciate. I'm sure he does too. So let's get on to this Blazers game tonight. It's game 3 against the Blazers for the season. We have a little history with the Blazers this season. We had our season opener against them, and we played pretty hard to lose a game. 119 Lakers, Blazers 128. It was one of our biggest losses against the season, other than that spanking we got against the Hawks. In the preseason moves, what did we do? Well, we picked up LeBron James. Of course, we're awesome. But the Blazers picked up this Nick Stauskas in free agency, whoever the heck that is. He was averaging 5 points a night. He just wasn't worth discussing. But prior to this season, Lakers had lost 3 games to Portland. They hadn't beat Portland in Portland for over 16 years. 16 games, sorry. And Blazers were last in the league in layups last year. So it wasn't looking like it was going to be tough for either team, but it might have been tough for either team to not beat themselves. Nick Stauskas would actually have 16 points in the second alone. Clearly, the Blazers' offseason moves have done them well. They're number 2 in the power rankings of the whole season for week 5. They're doing quite well. Despite 70 points in the paint for the Lakers that night, we left a lot on the floor. We weren't rebounding. We had no outside game. We had to crowd the paint. It takes 3 smalls to do the work of 1 big, and that's why we have Tyson Chandler, and that's exactly what came next. Lakers are learners. It's one thing I like about this team. If a team beat them, they're especially by a measly 5 to 9 points. Most of our games we've lost this season have been 5 and under points, less than 5 points. Lakers will beat you next time we see you unless you've made adjustments. It's not going to be the same game, and that's what I really do like about this team. I think this is why Luke Walton is the head coach. I think this is why we are doing so well as a team this year, even though we aren't really doing that well. But it is one thing we have on our side. So Stu Lance gave one of his keys to the game in game 2 against the Blazers. It was bench versus bench. On Wednesday night against the Timberwolves the game before, we saw the bench strike it out and just do amazing things to keep us in that game, and they did the same thing this game. We had a 20-point lead at the end of the third quarter. Unfortunately, we would lose that because Damian Lillard decided he was not going to lose this game and score 20 points in the fourth quarter to bring the game back close. We did, and Ivica Zubac had the game of his life. KCP started hitting threes as well as many of the other players. And basically, we won that game. Where is that score? What was that final score? I think it was Lakers 114. Blazers 110. It seems to be winning by 4, the magic number for us after all. And basically, the next day, Tyson Chandler was bought out by the Suns, and he came to us the following Wednesday. So, what does this all mean? It means Ivica Zubac is not ready to take over the center position from us. Magic paid attention to Luke's efforts, and he said, take a look at what I'm doing. I have to take 3 smalls and put them under the rim to cover Lillard, to cover Nurkic in the Blazers. And when Damian Lillard starts to play outside, as well as guys like Nick Stauskas, we're all still crowding the paint, and it's a free-for-all, whoever can shoot, and we've got a shooting league now, so we really needed Tyson Chandler to get under that basket so when JaVale McGee sits, and so that we can have the defense start working the perimeter and not having to work so hard in the paint for very little result if they do have outside shooters. So what are we going to expect tonight? Same old, same old. I really hope the Lakers come out a lot stronger than they have in all these games, and actually every quarter they kind of come in with a lull. And be it momentarily or maybe just a moment of trying to settle into a game, it's just a little too much of a lull, and it kind of hurts the play. For the rest of the game, expect a lot of players to come out strong. Nurkic is their center. Yusuf Nurkic, I hope I'm saying that correct. He will be battling JaVale McGee in the paint. I do not know who their backup center is because he didn't really have a big game. He hasn't been making himself stand out as much, and they like to go small sometimes. So we do have a JaVale McGee and a Tyson Chandler to hold that down. With 2 bigs in the game, our game will slow down just a tad. Just another note, Lonzo Ball is not playing full minutes because he had a little sore ankle. So, but it's not a major injury. I expect that to clear up pretty soon. He's a tough kid. Let's not push him. We want him with us in the postseason. or at the end of the season when we want to make a really big run. So the answer to the question at the beginning of the season that I kept asking, we had about 36 million, I think it might have been 36, 39 million in cap space left after starting out the season. Tyson Chandler has taken up a bit of that. I did expect a move like this, either a big in the middle or a shooter on the outside sometime in February, maybe before the trade deadline in February and before the All-Star break, but Magic Johnson couldn't wait. I heard he's a very impatient man, just like all of us Laker fans are. We want to see our boys winning. They are winning right now. There's no reason we can't take this game. We slept in our own beds. We don't have to travel on a plane to get to this game, and everybody should be pretty solid. You never know with the Lakers, though. We have a way of beating ourselves, but I will tell you, I expect them to win this game. I expect them to be 4 out of 4 games tomorrow morning. And I hope everybody agrees, because there's no reason we can't beat the number 2 Blazers at this point in time unless we decide to kill ourselves or let Damian Lillard take over the game. Let's not do that, Lakers. Let's remember what defense is. It's won us a lot of games so far, including that game against the Kings. We won and held them to 86. I'd like to see some more of that, and I'd also like to see them hold down like Damian Lillard, Nurkic, and I'd like to see Nick Stauskas not score a single point against us ever again, because that would make it more damning. All right, Laker fans, I am Rachel A. Smith, and thank you for watching the RAS.LakerGirl channel. Enjoy the game tonight, and I will see you after the game for post-game coverage. Good luck, Lakers.